believe, and are you man enough to become freedom fighter? Will you sacrifice for someone else's future? And will you give self-esteem without getting back a favor? Someone asked me not long ago, how far would I go? And if I think I had the courage to be a hero, I said, I'll do it for my country. I'll do it for SBG. I'll make any sacrifice once you go. Yes, I'll do it for my nation. Without hesitation. Just tell me where and what, and I'll be on that spot. Because I love my country back. She is the one. Yes, I love my country back. I'll answer when she comes. And no one can dissuade me. No one can discourage me. No matter how hard I do what she asks, this is fair. Because I love my country back. She is the one. Yes, I love my country back. I'll answer when she comes. And no one can dissuade me. No one can discourage me. No matter how hard I do what she asks, this is fair. Because I love my country back. She is the one.
The time is St. Vincent and the Gurney is just 10 minutes, 30 seconds after 8 o'clock. It's a Tuesday, and whenever it's Tuesday, you hear this familiar voice. My name is Kingsley Trevor De Freitas. And the views expressed here are not those of WeFM. WeFM provides the platform for the transmission of the message and messages are your thoughts. And the sponsor, Basil's Bar, he decided to put his monies to this program, but the views expressed are not those of Basil's Bar, Basil Charles, nor Jules Williams and the WeFM. It's my opinion, and we have to be very mindful of that. You know, I have a lot of people who just decide that they're listed. I met a man that I know for so long. His name is Joseph Arthur. And he told me last week that I must allow people to speak. He said that I jump in a bit too often, but I will pay attention to that and try to be more tolerant to people, okay? All right. Let me say, good evening to you, wherever you are. Good evening to you, wherever WeFM is being heard. We thank those persons who continue to spread the good message that if you want to listen to. And you don't have to listen to Star FM tonight, eh? Because the guy who go in the program tonight is he's a waste of time, okay? Because he can't be, so don't bother switch your dial and go over there. Stay right here, okay? I have 3 things in mind I want to talk about. There's a police officer in the Royal St. Vincent and Grenades Police Services. I don't know her first name, but they say she's Miss Bailey. And when I found out that she's Miss Bailey, I thought that she was Trevor Bailey, aka Super, not Super Dog, Buju. Yeah. I thought they were really thin. But we're going to come back to that one. Then the second thing I have in mind, you know, parents especially men, and somebody might say, but it has some parents who are boys. No, I don't think so. It's men. Yeah, man and men. They're very protective over their little girls or the girl child or the grown child who is probably a mother and a woman. And I've been having an advocate since I just sit on the morning program, the Tuesday and Friday morning program, where I wanted to canvass some support from Vincentian. If they think that 16 years of age should be the consent age. Imagine I taking care of my beautiful child, and when she reached 16, she could say yes. No, I'm not supporting that. And hear you what you telling me now. Okay, let's go to 18. because she couldn't vote at 18. Hello, 18? No, no, no. It should be 21. 21 years old. And if you demonstrate the level of maturity, well, I think you should wait until you find the right person to get married to. So we might talk about that. And then it has something that I'm going to describe. Imagine, my name is Kingsley De Freitas. I am 78 years old. Been leading an organization for 23 years as the leader. And I want to know how people like Anta and Bongo Shaka and the same guy Carly or Joseph Arthur go and defend this one. Because you know some people who support the ULP blindly. You could imagine that a man who took over 30 to 35 years in the political wilderness came, did relatively well, and became the prime minister in 2001 and still is the current prime minister. And admitted, and it is true, that he is probably the oldest person in our parliament. Mr. Arthur tell me that he is 77 because they have the same age, but I think that's going to about approaching his 78th year as a human being. And I don't know how you may, Mr. Lucas, I know you listening, you came in a couple of years ago. I'm glad to see you in Sydney. So I don't know how you're going to defend that if you're going to find. It's amazing how some people don't defend everything Ralph Gonsalves say. But I tell you already, I respect Ralph Gonsalves, but at times Ralph Gonsalves confused me. You got a guy in Barbados, just called him Professor Gonsalves. I wonder how you're going to defend that too. Imagine Ralph Gonsalves is approximately 78 years old. And he has Camilo Gonsalves. Well, he's a very young man. Say that sometime before you go on 10. We have Suboto Caesar. Well, Ralph Gonsalves was called Orlando Brewster as a potential leader. I don't think so. So, but I mention him because he's a part of the ULP. Jimmy Prince, I don't think he's a potential leader. Curtis King, I don't think he's a potential leader. Carlos James, Ralph Gonsalves normally mention him. And so it's quite obvious the two persons in the ULP that should make a bid to become the leader is Camilo Gonsalves, and I used to advocate for Suboto Caesar more often, but I drove a guy by the name of Mr. John. And Mr. John convinced me that Suboto Caesar is not the leadership that he has in mind. He thinks that Camilo Gonsalves has the material to make a good leader. And let's face it, the young man has the ability. I can remember when Honorable Louis Straker was the Minister of Foreign Affairs, he said that he recommends strongly to the Prime Minister and the Cabinet that Camilo Gonsalves should be given an overseas mission. But I didn't buy that TV coming from Sir Louis Straker. But for what it was, Camilo went and do a relatively good job. He pushed on some cool, but that's all right. And then he was ushering to the parliament to a senatorial appointment. And who has the privilege to suggest senatorial position? The leader of the country, Ralph Gonsalves, and the leader of the opposition, Mr. Friday. I don't want to go back to the other names. I'm trying to be very mindful that there are some thin-skinned people out there say I have no respect when I refer to the leader of the opposition by, okay, right, okay, so, right. So when Dr. Gonsalves and Dr. Friday decided that he's going to name senators, they will inform the Governor General, and he or she, well, his name Duggan is there, so she will put the instrument in place to suggest and make the appointment. So Camilo was made a senator. I don't remember when my friend was made a senator too. That was the biggest shock in civilization in the Grenades. Who talk about? Jomo Thomas. Oh my God. Ralph Gonsalves did consider that. But you know, Ralph Gonsalves really great, you know. Ralph Gonsalves is a genius. But somebody go say, but you call Ralph a genius? He say eyes are blind. You know he tell me so? And he say he don't want my vote. He could win without many hours without me, right? Okay, so I have no influence on the political landscape. But that I not hear that did, God. Let me tell you something. When Ralph Gonsalves go anywhere, you could ask the police officers them who to drive him. If he ain't come, he just send them go call me. Go call the boy, big me boy. So I go, but I will talk the prime minister quite some time. So we have that kind of relationship, okay? And I can't really believe. Well, I don't know if it was said. You could tell me if it was said that the prime minister, and let me choose my words properly, made a suggestion that he is an old man, and the whole country know that he's an old man and he's an old politician, but he have the youngest brain. Wow. The prime minister did say that? So I asked him if he did say that. All them say so could send me a WhatsApp and let me know if he said that. So let me border with caution that he didn't say it, okay? But I would like to know how Colonel Gonsalves felt, how Suboto Caesar felt, how Senator Peters, because Senator Peters 67 is a bright spot, you know. Because I tell you something, when a young man and a young woman join the Royal Silverstone Grenades Police Services, their intention is to become commissioner. And when a young person decides that he or she wants to become a politician, they want to aspire to the top. And that is where Luke Brown will never get there. No, Luke Brown will never become elected parliamentary in Silverstone. You know, what you say, Sir Kingsley? Well, I'm going to say if you want Luke Brown win no seat, you know? Because if Luke Brown wins seat, Luke Brown is going to challenge Camero, and you say what belongs to Caesar must go to Caesar. So he go challenge Caesar too, to see if he get some level of leadership. So Gonsalves is currently the leader of the ULP, and he made it clear in the last convention that the rank and file of the ULP said to him, "Comrade, you have to stay with us now, but we want you to take us 6 in a row." And he said the people love him and they encourage him to stick around, so he's going to contest the next general election when it is called in December 10th, 2025 as leader. But so, how do you feel? What is your thought when the prime minister say that he's an old man? And they go say, yes, he's an old man. I think he looks well. Can't two people, I'm good for 78. But you think to say that his brain is younger than all the others is a right thing for him to say? I don't know. I don't know how Anta will defend that. I don't know how Joseph Arthur will defend that. But he tried to defend it to me when he was talking at the old airport a while ago. And Mr. Ford was called from Barbados referred to the Prime Minister as Professor Gonsalves. I wonder how they're going to defend that. But I'm really amazed to see that potential leaders sit in the ULP, and the ULP is heading for, well, according to Lovon, 6 in a row. And they have people in the ULP who aspire to be leader. And they will just sit there and jump up and clap and Ralph Gonsalves say that he had the youngest brain. If Ralph Gonsalves say his brain is performing relatively well for his age, I could agree that. But to say the youngest, I really want to know how people feel about that declaration which was made by our Prime Minister. Do you buy into that? Is the Prime Minister playing with our minds to say, well, I am here, I've been leader for the last 23 years, I could take the party into the next general election, and people like Senator Peters, Senator Morgan, Senator Benava Brown, yeah. I like that girl there. I even fall in love with her name too, and Senator Bob. It is quite clear that the Prime Minister sees some sort of looking for the wall, some sort of level of intelligence in those four newly appointed senators. And I love him even more when he didn't make the NDP witch hunt and Senator Morgan put pressure on him to have the guns removed. I think that's going to have stood his ground and stood with Senator, Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Morgan. I think it's a good thing when the Prime Minister stood. You can't throw your young senators under the bus because the NDP making a whole heap of noise here and everywhere and things like that. So I really want to hear from people who support the ULP from the bottom of their heart. Those people who support the party because of Ralph Gonsalves. Because let me tell you something, regardless to how they feel about Ralph Gonsalves still the trending thought as leader and the man with the youngest brain in the ULP. Because anyway, Dr. Gonsalves will he attract a certain type of people and we like to see how they're thinking. So I really want to hear your thoughts on Gonsalves' position of being the youngest leader. Well, we know not the youngest leader, the one with the youngest brain. And that is Gonsalves saying that while Kamala is an intelligent man, he's not mature enough. Is that Dr. Gonsalves saying why Subota has more experience than political experience than Camero, that he's not mature enough? Is Dr. Gonsalves saying Carlos James just barely win by one, so we can't consider him in the ring as yet until after the next election? Is Ralph Gonsalves saying, well, Brewster big and powerful, but he's not the baddest man in politics, man. So this decision to go on to lead the party is still with Ralph Gonsalves, Camilo Gonsalves, and what belongs to Caesar must be given to Caesar. But when I was a younger man, right, I used to admire Luke Brown's father. For some reason or not, I used to pay attention to him. You might not know, but I know what I'm talking about. And I could remember talking to Luke Brown. And I said to him, Luke Brown, wonder what would it be if you become Prime Minister one of these days? So I am not saying that Luke Brown tell me that, I asked him a question because I see a young, energizing man out there, rose color bright like a flashlight. And he never really answered me. But in my heart of hearts, I know that Luke Brown has big intention. But the biggest challenge that Luke Brown will have is to win the East Kingston seat. And that is like somebody calling me and telling me, in the next election, Ralph Gonsalves going to lose the seat. I would say, you sound like a foolish man. Well, I don't think that Luke Brown will ever win the East Kingston seat. For obvious reasons, you could figure out what the reason and be if you wish, like. But so his chance of becoming Prime Minister, he might end up like well, no, about Mr. Yusuf was Prime Minister for 3 months. He remind me of Glen Beach father. God bless Sovince Beach. So Larry Bascom BC say the best Prime Minister in waiting this country ever had was Sovince Beach. He said the man political slate clean like a whistle. But at the time when Sovince Beach was leader of the opposition, so James was so strong. Now any kind of train you tie Sir James with, he used to bust the train and beat Sovince Beach. And the same thing happened. History has repeated itself with Ralph Gonsalves and Arne Eustace as the leader of the NDP. That took place over time in Stevenson in grade days. So Ralph Gonsalves is saying that the electorate and not the majority, because the NDP get the majority of vote, but the ones who voted for the ULP will have to stick with him or they should stand by him to see if he could take the party into the next election and win 6 in a row. But if you go to the length and breadth of Stevenson and Grenades, right? people give Ralph Gonsalves the pass mark for the last 23 years, and he deserves the pass mark because he tried. But they're saying having one man to lead a country for so long, regardless of how he is doing, sends some sort of negative coloration to the democracy. And why are you saying so, Kingsley? That can't be true because, as you say, the then election supervisor, Selwyn Jones, said that all the election in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, up until the last one, was free and fair. And I believe that. And Dr. Gonsalves walked that thought to himself and became the leader. No. Don't ever say that. Don't ever say Ralph Gonsalves push aside Sylvester Beach. No. Sylvester Beach gave way in the interest of the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Ralph Gonsalves became the leader. If you want to say that somebody pushed on Gatenborg to bring in Camilo, you could probably suggest that. But when it comes to Ralph Gonsalves and Vincent Beach, that was something. And Ralph Gonsalves, so clever, over the 23 years, and still Ralph Gonsalves have that thought. He never forget that political favor which was done to him by Sylvester Beach, okay? And the evidence will show that Ralph Gonsalves has demonstrated leadership qualities. He promised an international airport, he delivered. He said he wanted to be the smallest country to sit at the UN. He did that. He said he wanted to build low income house. He did that. In my opinion, when we had the COVID-19 and volcano eruption of 2021, the 13th of April, Ralph Gonsalves, according to Panda Campbell disease, was the best person to take services to where it is today. And let me tell you something. You can't be so, well, let me use hand skin wall, backward. I was saying, you used to call me backward. So I just borrowed it to them for in context. You can't be so backward to say that over the last 21 to 23 years that Ralph Gonsalves never did anything that benefited the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You know what I mean? And the evidence is out there that he tried and still trying. And then here, what you saying to me, Kingsley? So what you comment on the issue of crime? You give Ralph Gonsalves a pass, man? Well, if you listen carefully, you will find out. When Ralph Gonsalves became Prime Minister, who was the Commissioner of Police? Osborne Quao, from Barry. Soon after he was removed. Was it Miller or was it Mr. Harry? Okay, so Quao left office. William Harry did a short stint. Keith Miller, who I thought would make a dent on the political landscape in St. Vincent and the police landscape when he said that he's going to do a good job, and he had a committee-oriented philosophy he want to get things done. Well, he didn't last as long as Miss Judy fired. 5 years, if so on. And then we had Michael Charles. He come in on Fridays. Well, Michael Charles was rewarded to dress in a pure red suit. As commissioner, did he make an impact? You might have to ask you, so I don't really comment on that. Then we have Colin John. Wow. Colin John came from my area, like Keith Miller is from my area, like Elvis Brown is from my area, like the two best police officers service ever produced, Mr. Wright and Mr. Williams, the old police officer, remember him as Flower Elbow. And then we have somebody who is commissioner acting, who used to be in charge of the issue of crime. And we see what took place with homicide over the last 2 years in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Make Colin John look like an angel when we realized that Colin John at the time was the overall manager of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines police services. But the acting commissioner today was also responsible for the issue of crime and crime prevention, like our newfound Trevor Bailey, Assistant Commissioner of Police. And then we could remember they created, I think, some rural constables to deal with the issue of thief man and thief woman. They give them a technical name called them prison larcenists. We want to see people and people think. That did that pay off? I don't think so. And the biggest threat to today's society in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the amount of killings and homicide that took place over in 2023, 2022. And I believe that is the biggest challenge that Ralph Gonsalves, as Minister of National Security, is facing. Somebody will say, a modern day politician did say, remember, I didn't call him by name and say, a modern day politician did say that Randolph Toussaint, let me say good evening to Reggie. Reggie, it's good to know that you're home. Reggie is the son of the former commissioner, Randolph Toussaint. The modern day politician did say you have to blame Toussaint, who was the commissioner, and Sir James Mitchell, who was the prime minister, who is now deceased for what taking place or what took place with the situation of crime. But today, when we have a soft man like Dr. Friday in opposition who's free to come out and point the fingers at somebody and say, man, you have to take the responsibility. He wants to be politically correct. There are certain things that happen in St. Vincent and Grenadines that is creating a negative impact. That Lorraine Friday have to come out forceful and say, well, when it was you, it was this, or when it was that, it was that. And the issue of crime is still a frightening situation in St. Vincent and Grenadines. And I don't know who we should blame. If you listen carefully, I point out the amount of commissioners which was changed over the last 23 years. Should we blame them? Well, they will say to you, Kingsley, we don't put the policy. The policy comes from the governance of the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines through the cabinet. We just go and hold the office and try to enforce some of the policies to deal with the issue of crime and criminality in St. Vincent. Hardaway. Oh yes, Hardaway, yeah, Hardaway was also. So wow, that's another punch there again. But I wonder who people consider the best commissioner who sitting under Ralph Gonsalves as Minister of National Security. But I tell you, I grew up with Mr. Miller, Keith Miller. His mother was a disciplinarian. So some points into it and say, well, why Miller had that texture of being a disciplined officer, he used to go a little bit too far. Okay? But which one stand out in your mind? Which one you could say, did the ones in the past are the ones today doing a good job as commissioner? And you notice today now, long-term base, the same former commissioner Toussaint made a statement. Never forget this statement. He said, when he sat as commissioner, the police force had two politicians. He Randolph Toussaint and the deputy commissioner, because those positions are suggested by, well, Ralph Gonsalves enlightened us about that he has the sole responsibility to nominate a choice of a person to be commissioner, because that is his fundamental and constitutional right. So when Toussaint did say, most often the commissioner of police is a politician, might not be in the true sense of the word, but his suggestion of being the commissioner comes from a politician. And most often then, the leader of the party always wants to have an individual who you can trust up until 99.9% of the time on his job. But me would like to hear other thoughts before I think that William Harry did a good job, Keith Miller, Mr. Hathaway, I mightn't call him in sequence, Michael Charles, my neighbor and friend Colin John, and now the acting commissioner. But I noticed something. We have a deputy commissioner who is a criminologist, Frankie Joseph. That's it straight there, you know. Then honor you guy there, you know. But who you hear speak on criminology in civilization more often? Well, it is not the commissioner, it's Trevor Bailey, aka Buju. Right, you know that the deputy commissioner is a criminologist. And you often wonder if there were any sort of communication between the then commissioner and the deputy commissioner, which is still Frankie Joseph. You have to put together all these thoughts and see if they really mesh together. And you may ask yourself today, they're referring to the rank and file as commissioners now. We're talking about the new acting commissioner, Trevor Bailey. Can't remember the other one. I think we just called him Benji. I don't know what rank he has, but all can remind me. So they refer to the 4 top brass as commissioners. So I get the impression they're passing the baton around to say, well, when you're going to go blame a commissioner, you have to blame all them who sit up to the top of the Royal Service and the Police Force. And I'm going to try to link this one together to, you know. I know of a lady, since I did by the old airport, I started working there in 1983 as a taxi operator. And I could remember she working there, but I think from information, she became a police officer soon, a little before Mr. Call went home. So she worked under Mr. Call, William Harry, and all the commissioners that we mentioned earlier. You asking me her first name? I don't know her first name. You always say I say Miss Bailey. Or they could figure out Miss Bailey or the one. And here what happened. She have approximately 22 years in the police force. How you know that? You think I just come here and talk things and find out? And she worked almost every division in the Royal Service and the Greenwich Police Services. First time I saw her, she used to work at what we call Baghdad. Down by the old airport down there. When you go down there, you play break, they close you off. And then she been around for a long time. 22 years in the police force, you have to have some level of commitment. That's one. Commitment. She has to have commitment. Secondly, she has to have some level of discipline to work in a police force so long and still live for 20-something years. And she has to know her job. Hello, this lady is in the police force approximately 22 years. So, Kingsley, we make a nice one. Have somebody in the police for 22 years and she's still a constable. You don't think that is worrying? And you're suggesting what? She should be given a corporal? No, she can see the salary pay. So if she get a corporal now, that makes no sense because she can see the constable pay. It's 22 years to talk about, you know. So the next position I would like to hear they give her is sergeant. Are you up to station, sergeant? And I look at her a few days ago because she's now assigned to the is it the fire station close to the international airport at Argyle? Yeah, I think it's some over there, she did. And I look and I show her to see if there are any things up there. She looked the same as when she went in. 23, 24 years. Let's say 22 to make it sound even. Commitment, she has to have some level of discipline. She has to know the work. She has to enjoy policing. And none of the police commissioners in the past who she worked under don't see it fit. And you know why it just bothers me? I see sometimes, and I see it in community newspapers, that when police officers in the Royal Simpson Grange Police Service celebrate 20 and over, 25 and over, they publish them. Some civil corporal, some is sergeant, some is station sergeant, some is inspector, some is superintendent. And this particular lady, by the name of Miss Bailey, still a constable of police. You could imagine that after 22 years? 22 years you're talking about, you know? And it can't be none of the above that she's not capable to handle. It cannot be lack of commitment. It cannot be that she's not disciplined. It can be that she's not knowledgeable, because you can't do the police force for 22 years and you ain't learn nothing. And then they bring she over here is like a for this guy about nice because they on radio. It's like when they want to put me behind guard back, send me over there. And it's peeved my heart to see. I can remember, you know, it used to have a program called Police on the Beat, held on NBC Radio, and I used to listen to it. And it had a superintendent joint and Nicholas and all the supposed to the host. And they used to refer to a lady as Corporal Byron. So I found out that Corporal Byron was acting. She was never confirmed. So one night I called to the program and I asked them, who all on the panelists? They tell me, who are the panelists? And they say, Corporal Byron. I say, no, you can't be serious. Is there a difference between an acting corporal and a corporal of police? Yeah. You have the promotion, but you don't get paid for the promotion. So you act. And they were disturbed. And I can remember my friend, Michael Charles. He was the commissioner then, saying to me, Kings, you getting involved in police business, man. I said, but police business is Vincentian business. A couple of weeks after that, I understand that she's no longer a member of the Royal Simpson Grange Police Officers. She said, Kingsley, I am a corporal now. I said, wow, thank you. After acting for 10 years, did they confirm her? I hear occasionally when they read the news here and they read the news on NBC, they say, and I heard a guy say earlier, and he gave a definition, Kamal, of a national stadium. And he was trying to convince me and the listeners that there is a national stadium at Diamond, and it should be referred to as Sovereignty Beach Stadium. So I went across yesterday to see if I see the stadium. Because after Mr. Keto, but I don't know who Keto talking about. See there. So when I go across there, I see a nicely paved track. And then I say, ask a young lady, I say, could you show me the area where the Sovereignty Beach National Stadium is? He said, no, it's here. I said, that's the stadium here? Sometime Candyman. Yeah, it have a song I'm going to play for Pamadas. For Papadas just now. Why did it do it, eh? And I hear newscasters that refer to the area as Sovereignty Beach Stadium. There's not a stadium out there. There's a track, and their intention to build a stadium. And I often wonder why people do that. Why they does that? Is it playing politics? I mean, I might be wrong. According to Mr. Keto's definition of a national stadium. So if I'm wrong, I'll withdraw that statement and go along with his theory that there is a national stadium at Diamond. But according to information, there is a proposed national stadium being built at a site in Diamond, and it is being built in phases. Well, if they say all that to us, it will probably go along with that. So I go across, I didn't see the thing, and today, you know what I did? I see something on Facebook, you know what I do? I go down by the Annisfield playing field to see the works of myself. And I'm impressed so far. I'm impressed with the new look of Annisfield playing field, preparing for World Cup 2024. So it's good. But when people come to Simmons and they welcome them in a taxi and they say, what are some of these sporting artifacts that you have in Simmons and Gurney's? I say, well, there, according to Mr. Keto, there's a national stadium out at Diamond. So when I pass, I point out area to it. So where's the infrastructure? I say, well, according to he dies it out there. And I say, these people had to be crazy. So I want the rank and file of the commissioners, because they must be four they have, to look into the Roy Simpson and Greenwich police officer and ask yourself this question: why Miss Bailey is not being promoted after 22 years in the police force? It can be lack of discipline. It can be lack of commitment. She has to know her work because she work at almost every department. The only place I never see she before they change it to immigration is at immigration at then Iti Joshua Airport. But I find it very strange that you want to encourage young people to come bring their talent and their skill in the Royal Ministry police force, but you have somebody in the police force who done serve 22 years. And hello, I believe meta people who go in the force long after Miss Bailey and done just about to get senior constable pay and they promote into corporal. And what your promotion is confirmed and gazetted, you are the superior officer regardless of the age. If by chance they are not promoted and your age and experience will give you a little bit more knowledge over the young, bright, energizing people coming to the police. But once that young, bright, energizing process comes to the police and is promoted to corporal, he or she who has 22 and 23 years, I can remember, and people like former Inspector Peter, so remember, it's a guy from Montrose. He been named Glenn. He spent 30 years in the police force. He go in the same way he come out. Is Glenn a kid? Mr. Peter, you should call him and tell me if it's Glenn or a kid. 30 years. I said, Lord of mercy. You know the last time I saw him? At the Strings of Flower Tabernacle at Sign Hill. Acting very suspicious. And I found out that he was alien by age and started to have some memory lapse. 30 years. If I see Miss Bailey, and you go say, you know her? No, I don't know her. But if somebody points out to her, I will tell her, hello, you don't do 20 years, man, resign and see if they get something else to do and put aside the Gacho campaign chairman. Because for so long, I mean, I want to say something, but I can't say it because if I say it, they will vex me. So I will just keep it right there. You understand what I'm saying? So you could talk to anyone on the topic I raised. I raised the issue of consent age. I have two beautiful nieces. One is called Crystal, like Crystal who work here, and one is called Destiny. And I want one to come like Rihanna, and I want one to come like the lady who I was trying to remember last week, who turned 60. Sorry, remind me her name again. Tracy Chapman. So I don't paint a picture in my mind what I want my two nieces to become like. I want them to idolize those two people. Rihanna sing to song they for the $6 million. She gave it before it's a wing. And I have two nieces that I love. One is in Trinidad. Her name is Charlene. A little tomboyish, but I like she. I like tomboy women. And I have one who her name is Shakira. Everything she see, uncle, she want. So I want them to, and I told my sister Anne-Marie, I said, Anne-Marie, I know parenting in the States is different to parenting in St. Vincent, but you gotta let your daughter them know what time it is. You have to be firm. They may call the police when they like it, but make the sacrifice. Let them know that when they live in your house, it's your rules. Me ain't like nothing when me see parents talking to children. I know me don't call them kids because they're not good, they're human beings. Mommy, I don't want to hear you running and close in the bedroom door. That's why when I build my house, I don't want no door. You understand? Nobody running the door. I don't want to be disturbed, slamming door upon the parents. No, me ain't go up with that. I got let's say tamban whip. And when you don't get it, remember, your father said you go bail. You know what happened there? Oh, Jesus Christ. Your skin and bone like a pepper. He tell me it only have one man rat live in the house and the man rat is he. And he told me I could cuss him, you know. I could say how I feel, but say it in my mind. I still believe that while I believe parenting in my days went a little bit too far, they call it abuse today. Today, some of the quality person that you see in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they got flogged by their mother, their father, they get put up licks, and they get beaten in school. Today, they are models of today's society. Like I tell you, I could go up in my area, and you go say, you go start with Curtis King, of course, and have a young man who I understood and understand that showing some political interest. His father is Mr. Cupid. When you say discipline, it mark all over Mr. Cupid. I understand that his son is showing some interest to become a politician. His mother and his father is a model of discipline. So if I know, of course I know him quite well. If you don't know him, you see me involved in cricket. Give you an idea. Discipline mark all over his parents, his mother and his father. You come in the area, you see the chief education officer, K. Martin, Jack, discipline. Her mother was a stay-home housewife who did extremely, her mother-in-law rather, Mrs. Catherine Jack. And her father is a guy who used to work at Liat. The most disciplined individual passed through Liat was Mr. Hope Martin. I could go to my area. I just have both of my area, you know. A guy, a fellow who taught me in school, they call him Tommy King. I don't know if you related to Curtis. They hold a top there. When they bring down a cricket team, it's all the brothers and them. And when I tell you, today some of the people who have good offices, good job and high responsibility is person who got flogged by their parents. Today they say it's abuse when your parents, sometimes when they're going home and you do something wrong, you have to put your book in your back and make sure you put your pants, your shirt in your pants so they won't. Today they are quality people today because they stuck to their guns. And that is why I am not suggesting, I am not encouraging no parents to stand by their house and the children or the child to them, Mommy, I'm going out to be back by 9 o'clock. How old are you? 16. Hello, no. When they come back, we go meet you. You know how much time you have a sleep in the porch? My father said when he don't like the house, he can come back out to open it. And my mother used to try to open it. She have to sneak out and me now here, no. Me ain't like that at all. A child and say to Mommy, I'm going over there. How old are you? 16. But if she's 16, she tell her you can't stop. When she's 18, you go talk to she. I want to legislate that consent for you to say yes to somebody who you choose at 21. And I still think 21 is fragile, but I don't want to go 25, okay? But the issue of a young lady telling she mom and she daddy, Daddy, I have something to tell you. And you see a guy come by your gate, you have your pants all on by your knee, you see the box across the underwear. Daddy and Mommy, this is my boyfriend. Hello, that's your boyfriend? I want to give you something for telling me for doing broadcasts on the radio. When I get one, it's straight up. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. What do you want? It's straight up. You could tell me about you have a 16 years old girl telling me that she going outside and come back 9:30, 10 o'clock. And she going by who? She boyfriend? But she go by the boyfriend to read a book? No, man, I mean by that. And don't tell me because she could vote when she's 18, she should be given the opportunity to say yes. No. Let's go right to the 21. You celebrate the 21 birthday, you figure you come a full mature person, do that. But if you have 16 years, that's constant, but me can't buy into that. I can't buy into that. Let me tell you, I can share you a personal experience. I have a daughter. I hope she listens. She got married under consent age. And I didn't like that. So what you go by the wedding? You hear me telling me like that, so I'm not going to wedding. I think she and she husband said going to wedding really well. I know, what get me angrier, I had this girl, I have a granddaughter, and I look at this emblem of wonderful human being. My daughter called me and tell me, she's called me Kingsley. I said, you must call me Kingsley, call me daddy. Kingsley, Dee pregnant. Me not talking to them for since last year, Me say, what is it? Me get silence like a lamb. Man, no, that's for you. My father would tell me when they start the family, I forget your own house. I mean, the world changed and the people changed. But the old school people like me sitting around having playing a part and me ain't encouraging that you coming to tell your parents or your guardian or your grandmother that I'll be back later. How old are you? 16. Where you going? Where my boyfriend? Where you going? You use your imagination. No. That's what it is, 21. So, you see, me ain't encouraging that, and I try to stay right in simplicity and tell my sister Anne-Marie, why those are your children, I'm expecting you to bend the tree when it's young and teach them the wise things so when they get older, they won't depart. You understand what I'm saying? When I was a young man and I go to bed to play football and cricket, I used to observe everything. And when I see a young lady pregnated, I say, oh Lord, what happened there? She thief a chance and get catch. And that was like if I nice how to describe it. That was like a disgrace, When you see a young, sweet girl who going to school get pregnant. That is why I never support Sister Pat and taking back them teenage mom in school and call them student and when they come out to call them mom, Me never supported that, When you are a child, you act as a child. When you become 18 and 21, you take the world up on your shoulder, that is your responsibility. But to tell me you have a 16 years old girl or a 16 years old boy coming home with the pants chopped up like some big man and he went by his girlfriend and the 16 years old girl went. But me ain't encouraging that. I look say I old school and me living back in time as much as I want, but me ain't supporting that. Why I think today's society is so fragile? And we are from those kids, we say children are child. Why I think today's children who became parent before the prescribed time, which is supposed to be 21 or 18, why I think so much the grandmothers them today have so much responsibility. They can't even live their life in fullness. They have to take care of their grandchild. And today's grandmothers them is like 45 and 50 and 60. When I was a young man and my mother took me to see my grandmother was an old woman. Was an old woman. She was a Lillian Bob from Mongoland. Where my mother took me to see my grandfather, Jackson from Newgrounds. He was an old nice man. Now, me Kingsley, who ain't reach 6 feet, I have 4 grandchildren. Yeah, I have 4 grandchildren. My daughter has 3 children and my son had 1 before he died. If I glad? No, me ain't glad. I sad. And they told me to go. Look at my hair white off. I'm very worried, I think, I am big on family, yeah. We have any WhatsApp there? See if we get into WhatsApp. See if we get.
Somebody here says that you sound like a crazy man.
Well, a crazy because what the right thing to be done.
Right. And the father went on saying, you want a lady to wait until 21. So what age should a young man wait?
21 to me making an excuse on them. 21.
Yeah, that's what we have on
Yeah,
WhatsApp.
we see lots of people up at on our Facebook page. They lots of them good to see that all involved in our whole little
Yeah,
conversation.
they were dealing with the stadium slash somebody says, well, if that's a stadium, Victoria Park is a stadium.
Well, according to Mr. Kato, Victoria Park is the stadium. We have a stadium up at Daphne too. Yeah, it has some privilege and seating capacity up there. So we ain't a newcomer to stadium in Zimbabwe. And I think Sesbaki had one. NDP had a proposed one too. So we seem to have a very first call. Let's go to the first call and hear what they say. If they rule, cut them off. Hello.
Hey, good night, Kingsley. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
All right, I'm listening to your program. I usually enjoy it. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you had a fellow there by the name of Frank De Silva. When is he expect to come back?
I'm trying to see if I get the management to give me consent to bring him on the last Tuesday, which is next week, Tuesday, to see if he could come on the program, yes.
Because I like a guy that's balanced and, about St. Vincent and could adjust to any topic. And, a lot of people have been crying out for him. I mean, you might not hear what the circles that have been. They usually cry out for they've been crying out for Frank like you open a can of worms with it.
No, I'll be honest with you. I asked permission last time to bring him here and they gave me permission. And after the program, I called them and they said that he was relatively careful and mindful of what he said. And Frank has that level of responsibility. So I don't think they will object to me asking them to allow me to bring him for next week Tuesday. So I'm going to do that next week and see if they get permission. Because I agree with you.
I think you should bring him it's just my opinion, but I think you should bring him every week, yeah?
Sponsor a program. Sponsor that program then.
All right, no problem, thanks.
Yes, man. Thank you. Thank you for calling. Yes. So I have people who made that request and asked me because they say, Kingsley, you guys know how we don't sit well with Frank. Frank is somebody who never got sued and he's very mindful, but sometimes the passion will get a little better for him. So I promised to ask Jules and Susan if I could bring him next Tuesday and the open forum alongside Mr. Glasgow. Yes.
All right, going back. This caller said, Kingsley, that's not logical, and
logical.
That's you talking about the age, yeah.
Well, what they say? What age? So I wonder if it's a mature poster. So this poster says is that logical. So they have the 16 years old girl, 16 years old son, and he could come and say, Daddy, Mommy, I'm going out to come back later. Where you going? I'm going by my boyfriend. Oh, that sits well with you? Hey, that sits well with me. Yeah.
But does it mean, I mean, I'll interject here, but does it mean because the age of consent is, well, it's now 15.
It's 15 now?
No, it is age 15.
Jesus.
I heard that it was moved from 16 to 15. And I also heard that the conversation should be moving the age from 15
if Lauren
Friday
want me to come out and support him 100% in next election, he must raise the consent age to 21. I'll be 100% NDP.
The person said, yes, I have a 20-year-old daughter.
20? She's 20?
Yeah, she's 20.
She's approaching 21, which is full adultery.
But I mean, a lot of people having this conversation about the age of consent and the age of consent and what it should be and where it should be. But anybody know the reason why the age of consent is where it's at?
That's a good question. Let's go to the call and answer the question before we get back. Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Ms. Nichols.
Kingsley?
Yes, ma'am.
I agree with you. 21, 22. Where a 16 years in school, see what they have with sex. Cool.
Imagine that.
Make a child. Who's going to mind the child? Mother kind says buy bread for she eat. Another one coming in.
No, bring him.
You have to walk in. You have to walk, and the man has to be walking too.
Bringing more wheat, pumpkin, sugar. Yeah.
You're 16 years and 15 years. 21, 22.
Okay. But that's one. That's one for 20. That's a good one, yeah. That's it.
If I'm taking from 15 to 16, man, put it to 16, may sound better.
16?
She's
good night.
Good night, Miss Nichols. Yes. Okay.
I didn't hear that. She said if they put it to 16 would sound better.
I didn't get the context in where how that came in. So we have another
All right, we
caller.
have another caller.
Good evening.
We missed that caller.
Yes, 4579997. You can call that number, and we have that one coming back. Good evening. Good evening to the people of the Republic of Barbados. Good evening. We probably not here getting the audio there. So
Yeah, something
Yeah,
about
okay.
this.
Right,
So
well,
that
we-
person would have to call back.
yeah, we recognize your number is there. Yeah, so let's hear your thoughts on the issue of 16, 18, or 21. Miss Nichols say she's vying for 21, 22. Yeah, okay. Anybody has any WhatsApp? Read them before you tell me what they say, because some of them wake up with some strong
No.
language. Yeah.
It's just this conversation continuing. It says, if my daughter wishes to have a boyfriend, feel free. Old folks thinking.
She called me old.
The WhatsApp person. Anyway, we have a
Good
call.
evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I go for the 18. I think 15 is too young.
Okay. Tell us why you think 18 should be accepted.
Because 15 years, you're still in school,
Mm-hmm.
and you're walking, and so if you make a child or support, you can't mind it. You have to depend on somebody else to mind it.
But I don't know if you all listen all before we take the call. Somebody say I'm old school, but here what happened? The young people these days know so much about sex education. Getting pregnant have to be a choice and not an accident like long time. So you don't necessarily have to get pregnant.
Yeah, so I think 15 years is too young, man.
Okay, so you suggest 18.
Yes.
Okay, then we appreciate your thoughts, okay?
All right, thank you, man.
Thank you, sir. So the gentleman say 16 is ridiculous. Those are my words. And he thinks that 18 should be given some level of consideration once that child is showing some maturity.
I think we still need to answer the question as regards to why the age is where it's at. There must be some logical reason why somebody came and say, you know what, let's put it to 15 or let's put it to 16 and not 18. Or should I should say, is there a justifiable reason why the age of consent is where it's at?
No, I don't think there's a justified reason. But let me tell you something, right? If one of the WhatsApp people say I is ridiculous. We go to the person in the line and hear you say,
We take the caller.
good evening. Good evening. I guess you're hearing us, but we're not hearing you. So try and do something that you're not doing, and we will get back to you. So hey, 16. Come, I want to know what sort of consideration was given so that young people could involve in sexual activities at age 16. Okay? I am totally against it. I might not have a particular reason to justify my claim, but I think 16 is a child who is still in school and in college. And I am from the old school where it never happened to me when I was 16. So you may say, how old you were? I was almost 20. Seriously? And I'm not supporting that at all. The other gentleman who just called, I was going to say he's giving some consideration for 18 because the person may be working and the person may be a mature person. But sex activities really so mature people. Nobody can be mature at 16 and 18. Hello, good evening.
No, this
When I
number,
put the shop
this
people-
number just ain't it's not working.
Okay, right. So if you listen to us in Barbados and you're trying to call us, I don't know if it's Mr. Ford or it's Ford. What's his name again? It's Ford. It wasn't Ford. Our friend, Han.
Hard. I don't know his first
We're
name.
having difficulty hearing what you are saying, but I guess you're hearing us loud and clear. So one person said, Mr. Nichols said 21. The gentleman said 18. Somebody is questioning why and what sort of conclusion they came when they make it suggest that they be 16 years old. Hello, I see some 16 years old children in my age already. When they small, for radio language, they didn't even have titi.
Stick his caller.
Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Policeman. How you doing? Peters.
I'm here, Errol, and listening to you all the time.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Yes,
I want to ask you some question. What sort of consideration? What did you look for when you were part of the St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force when come to suggest to the commissioner who had the ability to promote people from constable to sergeant? What sort of consideration the commissioner normally taking?
over a second, a minute.
What sort of consideration the commissioner of police look for in an individual when he suggested that she should be given promotion? Because I am complaining that there's a lady named Miss Beatty in the police force who is doing approximately 22 years and still a constable of police.
Yeah, one thing you have to look for, you look for loyalty in the organization.
Right, so loyalty,
Knowledge of the work.
knowledge and the
Yes.
work, yes. And what about commitment?
Well, if you have knowledge of the work, then you will commit yourself to the work.
Okay, so commitment.
As a job.
Yes, right.
Okay.
So with your experience serving the police force, Mr. Peters, why is somebody in the police force after 22 years a constable?
Well, there might be some disloyalty somewhere. There might be some disloyalty somewhere in a service. It is service.
Yeah,
Like
somebody just sent a text there and they said to ask you what is referred to as a PF.
What is what?
What is referred to as a PF? I think they mean the personal profile in the police.
The personal file.
Yes.
Well, that is taken into consideration when they're ready to make somebody promotion. They look at your file.
Okay.
They draw out your file and they see. You can remember everything you do in the organization, whether good or bad, is recorded on a personal file.
Yes.
So when they take out your file and the commissioner take your file and look at it and so on, your file speaks.
So is it possible that Miss Beatty's file is tarnished?
Could be a possibility of that because I can't see it in 22 years. I was trying to figure out who the person is, but I can't bring that person up there.
Yes. Well, I did call her name, but I didn't give her first name, so I'll probably call you off air and give you the first name, so you know. But she been around a while, Mr. Peter. She has worked at Jug Squad under Elvis Bagger. She has worked at she has worked several places, but I just can't understand for
You might have getting it. You might have got joined the force when I left because this year, this year is 20 years since I left.
Yeah, I understood, Mr. Peters, that when she came in, Mr. Kwa was still the commissioner of police.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I work under Kwa, so it might be a young person.
Yes.
When I about to leave.
Yes.
And these young folks, you don't really familiar with them much unless they work you and so on.
Yeah, but I paid attention to her, and from observing police officers, she seemed to be committed. She's very careful how she go about her thing. But I agree with you. It had to be something on her PF why she's not being given serious consideration.
Yeah. That's a lot of service, I suppose. And she was working at Jug Squad?
Yeah, she worked at Jug Squad when it used to be with AK and Hazelwood and all them people there. So she been around a while.
I mean, when you work at Jug Squad, that's something you're always good. They look at you as a good person.
Of course, you have to have some commitment and confidence to work there, knowledge, very knowledgeable, and being careful too with your level of communication and information. So she had to be right up there, but 22 years and still a constable, that's mind-boggling. Yes.
That's a long time.
Yes.
Yeah. What I really called for to tell you, I was talking about crimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look at it that these days why those solve the crimes of them is because there's a lot of changes taking place in it, whether in St. Vincent or in St. Lucia or over the world, right? What I noticed is this person who committed crimes, one, they always wear what they call a hoodie.
Yes.
Right? And they disguise themselves by using shades and this sort of thing and so on.
Yes.
So when they commit a crime, it's very, very difficult to really recognize them. Right? And unless we really got good evidence to really especially a gun crime. Most likely with a gun crime, most likely you have to get a weapon
Yes.
to present to the court.
Yeah. But somebody might be listening and say, because you are a past police, once a police, other police, you're defending the indefensible. Because we live in a modern age now, and it's time the police start to use different methods. Because every time a crime is committed or a homicide takes place, they always ask you, if you have information, I see information, you need to come forward and help the police. The officers then need to go beyond that, because people don't want to come forward, and we need to see some more done with the forensics department in the police force. We have a forensic lady from Georgetown.
It was scared to really come out and give evidence because of the scare for their life nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Because once a criminal might see that see that you're gonna give evidence against, they try to get rid of you. Right? So a lot of people afraid to come out and give evidence. But
I agree with you. Hey, why I agree with you, Mr. Peters? At time I went up in a particular area, and I found myself in a compromising position where some guys came to. They were threatening me.
Right.
So I decided, boy, me making them scare me. So I did something to one of them that you may not normally do. A couple of years ago, I met this guy. He said, "You can't remember me?" But I didn't answer him because I don't know what context he's saying. He said, one time you meet me, you had you up Curry corner, you do me something. Oh, I said, oh, so that will tell you, the criminals don't forget you. They always remind you. And what I did, Mr. Peters, is what I had to do to get away from four of them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and he never forgot that, you know.
They feel they could revenge, you know, we get in a car and they feel they could revenge you, give some hot or something.
Yes.
A lot of people want to come out and give the evidence and book with food and give evidence. But I understand now that they could stay with this modern technology that they got. They could stay somewhere else behind some...
Yeah, and do the evidence taken by the court, yes.
But you see again, that you got a good lawyer and this sort of thing. These lawyers sometimes they go out just to get
once they got a hot shot lawyer like the Conleys and the Thomases, they will pull out what they have to do to defend their client, and that is what they're being paid for. Yes.
In my time at the criminal investigation department, we didn't have them problem. This problem was not focusing because, for example, I remember when Ralph, the magistrate Ralph, I don't ever hear about that.
My father told me about Ralph, so I know about Ralph, yes.
Right. That thing happened on Friday afternoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
A Friday afternoon. And before 7 o'clock that afternoon, we know exactly who are the culprits, and we started to look for them. Before 7 o'clock that afternoon, we know who the culprits were involved in.
Yes, I remember that incident because my father told me about it, yes. Yeah. And he tell me it had a spirit used to go around the place and you have to be very careful. You're right.
Definitely.
Yes.
But they got away in the area and they went up in the mountain and so on and spent some time up dancing and so on. I was involved in the party.
Yes. So you have some level of experience with the real kind of freaky crimes that took place in the past, man.
You see, I walk from Dartford Hill. We go up to the road by roundabout there.
Yes.
Up Dartford Hill.
Yes.
And end up in Montreal.
Yes.
Past with the water tank up in the
Yeah. I know the route you could use the route to go there.
And for them, it took us 2 weeks before we pick up with them and so on, you know.
Yes.
So the public nowadays, they are kind of scared to go and give evidence. And then you have to get this sort of evidence where like some sort of, we call it the evidence. So, what's in me now. But you have to have that evidence and so, you know. I was telling some guy some time ago, at least I was here sitting on watching in America, and a crime took place. A guy murdered another fella. For over 10 years, they had the guy, and observation.
Yes, yes.
And the guy went in a restaurant in the States and he bought a hamburger and he ate the hamburger. When he did a piece of issue inside
Yeah, that
the
is the right there.
yeah.
Yes.
They pick up the piece of foil paper
Yeah,
and they do
they were
the
able, and they were able to solve the crime. Yes. Yes.
yeah. But I mean, we never just idiot and so on in St. Vincent, but you know, so
Yeah, but before you go, I will ask you a question though. What's your personal position on the age 16, 18, or 21 for sexual activity to young people?
I will agree with the guy who said 18.
Mm-hmm.
I feel they should carry to 18. People under 15 and 16 is still too young because you've got them children going in school and this and that, how they get pregnant and so on. How they going to support a child? And so if father not pick up and support the child, he let the burden and the parents.
Yes, yes.
You know?
Yes.
I think 18 is reasonable. Is a reasonable age. And so on.
Reasonable. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Appreciate your thoughts. Yes, yeah.
All right, then. Valentine's night.
Okay, then. Thank you, Mr. Peters. Mr. Peters, 18 is reasonable. I mean, he still have a doubt. He's saying, I agree with Kingsley with the 21, but I can't tell him so on the radio. So you can say 18 is reasonable. Well, I agree with you. 18 is probably reasonable in today's context of the young people. But 16, can't deal with that. And Mr. Peters talk about the importance of, but let me tell you something. It's a policeman. We should call him Red John. Oh, Lord of mercy. When he walks something, he's frightened. If he have one living body, named Bouncer. I tell you, even tell two friends of mine zone, if I want to smoke higher grass, I go in the hill go smoke higher grass. He was a serious fella. And he told one named AK. He did some one shows up with. Then my policeman made remember. Because when he come to the job, them being serious. At the start about Elvis Brown, but I could remember incidents where somebody told me what happened between them and Elvis. And I think from their report, Elvis went over a little bit too far, but Elvis was an excellent police officer also. So 18, reasonable. Miss, we have a caller. Good evening.
Kingsley.
Hey, Frank.
Good night. Now, this subject here, this subject keeps coming up about age of consent and age of consent.
Mm-hmm.
I asked some people the other day to find out what is the history of the age of consent.
Well, I was trying to throw that out also. How they arrive at 16 and why 16?
No, yeah, I'm talking, there's a history behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It was once at one point, then there was another point, and then it is this point now. Mm-hmm. Anybody know why that is?
That's a good question.
Don't know, but they're just coming up with this because people got some idea in their head that a boy 13 can't get somebody pregnant. So if a girl is 13 and she get pregnant, it must be some old man driving some taxi someplace or the other. That is what they got in their head.
Yes.
So let me explain something to you. I'm not going to tell them the history. They need to go find it themselves. That way they're going to stick in the head and they will stop this discussion. Let me tell you, you know a fellow named Jeffrey Providence?
Of course.
Calls himself Jeffrey Providence?
Yes.
All right. His father is my first cousin.
Mm.
The fellow is a couple of months older than I was. I am. He's dead. He died. You hear me?
Yes.
This cousin of mine is living in Camden Park and he's going to Bishop College. He ain't 15 yet and he got a baby. Okay?
Really?
Guess what? Yes. He wasn't 15 yet. And he got a girl going, I think she was going convent.
Wow. That's
So the two of them in school and they're pregnant.
Yes.
You see, people don't get it. They don't get it. Guess what? You see that same cousin of mine there, Jeffrey Providence's father?
Yes.
By the time he was 30, my first son is 6. But my cousin, who was a couple of months older than me, was a grandfather. How did that happen? He was 30 now.
Wow.
He is a grandfather.
Yes.
I'm gonna give you since they're carrying on with this thing. You see, they got this that Jamaican song about dirty man and dirty man and dirty man. As though I have 3 nieces, all of them in school and pregnant. So since they're carrying on with this thing here, Prince used to carry on with it all the time. I asked the mothers who they're pregnant for. All of them with a schoolmate. All of them go in school. So let me. No, I was going to tell them go do the research, right?
Yes.
The 100 years ago, the age would have been 21. But guess what? If a 21-year-old boy get a 20-year-old girl pregnant, he could have been charged for rape.
Wow.
If they were 18, he could have been charged for rape. Because, you see, this whole thing is about the age of consent and only concerns the woman, the girl. So they lowered it. If you do that, you're going to find a whole bunch of young people, schoolboys in jail, for Christ's sake, Solio, just being hard-headed.
Yes.
It didn't stop anything. So now they put it to 15 because guess what? Guess what? They don't want to go lower than that. But because, again, the same thing applies. The same thing applies. When you see the young girl, it's very rare, extremely rare.
It's an old man.
That is some old man somewhere.
Yes.
So in America they have it different in some states. If you're like 2 years older than the girl, it's not a problem. If you're 5 years older, then it becomes a problem.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So it sounds good and it sounds da. But do you want to put a whole bunch of 15-year-old boys in jail for it?
That's the point I was trying to get at, because people I see that's what I heard and that's what I learned, right? In that if the age is higher, I mean the society that we live in, we have young people having sex with one another. Back then it used to probably be baby house and it used to happen. So they're saying now is that
wait, hold on a second. My brother, you mean you had some boy there?
But Frank,
I'm hearing some people talking now. I'm wondering if they ever had any boy there. You see, now I've got different kind of weird guy. People used to look at me like I was stupid. Because I used to go to West Indian Mission Church and I had a thing in mouth me. I ain't doing that. But I'm telling you, you got them cousins, they laughing at me because they're all coming up on me and me ain't paying them no mind.
Yeah. You are being responsible.
I'm not paying them no mind because I got something in my head from church.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
So, and this is why they do it, because they don't want to put a whole bunch of 16-year-old boys in jail. Please, so when all you're thinking about put it to 21, all you're going to do is get what? You want to pull up the jail now with young people? You know, I was supposed to get something to send for you, but I'll do it so you could next time.
Yes.
Because you had a young lady call in there some time ago, and I'm gonna be very smart when I do these things. I'm gonna find out if she went grammar school, because she's smarter than a whole bunch of people who every time they talk they go grammar school. Because you know what she said, Kingsley? You remember you asked about the vaccine? What did she say?
Yeah.
Okay, well I got the tape.
Yes.
She said it's too new, and this is. But you see.
But Frank, but there's a lady who called her all the time and identified as Janet Matthews. You said that.
I think it's her.
You said
She was smarter than a whole bunch of people who got 15 subjects at Benny University.
Exactly. So
I go on again.
Yes, okay then. All right then. Well, I'll get back to you by Monday, okay? To see if you could organize that. You could come on here with us on the last Tuesday. So Frank is saying, where do you want to put pressure on today's society? There's not enough evidence to suggest that the pregnation of a young girl, 16, or having sex with older men was the same age group.
It's the same age group.
Yeah, so.
I mean, I have always heard, right, that
But you talk about baby house earlier. I play baby house. I play
I
go.
play baby house already.
And hey, my father used to buy me a toy gun, right? And he
That's for gun shooting.
He never had a negative impact on me. Me never come up to me want to be the shooter, man.
Well, things over time, things have changed.
Yeah.
Things change. I mean, I remember when they used to sell.
And my mother used to buy a doll baby for each 2 years, but they used to play baby house, as you say. But it's just them going outside and window shop to see what the baby go feel like. They never did that. They waited until they got big. So that is why I all better shape, but I still not supporting the age of 16.
No, well, I how do I put this? I mean, I do not agree, and I don't think anyone agrees or support a 15-year-old having sex, right? And when people hear the age of consent, that's what they think, right? But I think it was more, and I think
I agree with you,
and I
you know why I agree
believe
with you? Because I said to you earlier, when I was younger, today we just call them bob up some breasts. But in my days, in my home, a titty you ever see. When me see girl with titty long time, me say, hey, see that there? Me go, you know. Now that is the excited part to look at these days. You understand?
Oh lad. No, but I mean, but what I'm saying is that, when people hear the age of consent,
it's a turn off.
Yeah.
A turn off.
It's definitely
but
a turn
as Frank said, the age of consent shouldn't be at 16, but the consent for those people they were having sex among their peers, same age.
Yes.
And
then
the
I really hope is this is really for a legalistic reason.
Yes.
And not to cover anything.
But to me, I agree with Frank here because hey, being an observant person that I am, I remember when I was younger, when you hear a young lady got pregnant, it used to be like a tarnish on her. And you'd be surprised, it was somebody in the school, it was somebody that she grew up with. They took a chance and boom, they got pregnant. But today where they have so much sex education, condoms and contraceptives, a woman could get pregnant when she chooses to. But yet it has some guys now, they're like buck rabbit, they want to go and pee all about the place and then they create a little pregnancy and then say, and it come over that they are quote unquote macho. You know what I mean? So I mean that's probably what turned me off with the 16 and 18 age, because let me tell you something. Some men know what they did with other women before they got married. And when they see their child coming big, they remind themselves of what they did to other people, girl children. And that is why they're so protective of their own children, because of the mistakes and bad things they did when they were young. But you see this, age 16, well, Frank tried to explain it. I respect Frank and his explanation, but me still ain't buying that. You understand? You have a WhatsApp basic?
Yeah. Someone writes here, the whole idea of the legal age of consent is to prosecute big headbutt men from preying on minors.
You think so?
It's part of it. I believe it's part of it.
The big hardback man. If I wonder why you back to the radio.
And I mean, I also want to believe. I mean, we have teens, our peers having. I mean, it's the reality. It's the world that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
They get an opportunity, they take a chance. Something might happen, something may not happen. And I mean, if they're caught, let's just say you have a 15-year-old who gets caught with a 16-year-old. What do you do to the 16-year-old?
Right.
They go school together, or probably they go church together.
The young man.
A social night.
The parents
a
for the 16 years old get upset the consequences, and the young man just live.
And who should go to jail? And who should go to jail?
Nobody going to jail. Can't you, Frank? That's the reason why they were protecting certain level of society where they decided that, Mr. Big and Mr. This, I could do that, but so we come to a kind of wild conclusion.
All right.
The time is 7:70. It's time for me to take a break. Is that the time?
Yes, man.
22 minutes on to 10 o'clock.
Almost time to go home.
I've been talking so long. Let's take a break and come back.
It's Feedback with host Kingsley De Freitas. This and every Tuesday night from 8 p.m. for 2 full hours, right here on WeFM 99.9. Join him as he brings different guests weekly on this informative and interactive program. It's Feedback. To be a part of the Feedback program, call us at 457-9997 or send us a WhatsApp at 457-9997. It's Feedback.
Whatever you are celebrating, birthdays, anniversaries, engagements, retirement, or just celebrating life, the place to be is at Basil's Bar Kingstown. Established for over 38 years, we are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with an exquisite ambiance. We have a set menu and 3 a la carte menus to choose from, and we are flexible to all requests. We go above and beyond to serve you. Basil's Bar Kingstown, where it's more than just a meal, it's an adventure. Call for reservations at 457-2713.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's back! Leave me alone. Oh, I beg you, come off me, boy. Come on, nigga. Oh, mama, go, mama. Watch this. You tell me stand up. You tell me be strong. Hold up your head up high. Look up in the sky. You tell me hold on. Never let go. Do the thing that is right so that you will see tomorrow. You tell me all of my head high. Brothers reach into the sky. Tell me don't cry, my son, don't you cry. Tell me all on my head I know all of them who jealous I. Tell me be strong, conscious youth be strong. The man with the anger, he tell me be strong. The man with the anger, he tell me don't run. The man with the anger, he tell me hold on. He tell me trample me enemies, trample me enemies, trample them, trample them, trample them until they're dead. Oh,
19 minutes before 10 o'clock. I can't imagine I've been speaking for at least an hour and 45 minutes. Somebody sent me a text over there and they say, Kingsley, I'm in a family. I have 2 girl children, Vincent and Peritage, and you want me to correct them, but if I do, they may call the police and I get, here we do. Come for a holiday in St. Vincent, ask me by the airport and bring them and tell me to get a strap and make it out of some leather belt for you. So when you come here, you beat them here. They think they're bad, then they come home.
Yeah, but Kingsley, doing that, somebody's gonna say, well, they already call you old man. They're gonna say you're teaching the children to hit physical abuse. I mean,
no, he up.
There's a lot of people who don't believe in
I was brought up in
punishment.
a physical way. My mother wasn't the beating type, but she used to tell me she would tell daddy for beat me when she reach home. And he used to get vexed on them and beat you without just to satisfy she. But hey, I want my sister to lead from example with her children And she must instill in them until they live in their own house, the rules in her house must be what she say. Whether they like it or not, she is the parent and she has to instill that she is the parent and it must be done. Because let me tell you something. If you ain't been through any young, when they reach until they get old, a break you and break. Them hard time with you.
So definitely you believe in spare the rat, spoil the child.
Yeah.
And not any alternate way of discipline.
And if I had a girl child and she come home and she said, Daddy, I have a boyfriend. I said, come here, man. If your name is Grace or Gonsalves, you could stay.
Yeah, but Kingsley, you have to be Kingsley, you have to be very careful with that, you know.
We have poor people coming my place, man.
Kingsley, you have to be very careful, right?
Come from a Grace,
if you have a daughter and your daughter comes home, your daughter come home and tell you, Daddy, I have a boyfriend. Well, what would be your response?
Well, I got from experience. When my daughter tell me she have a boyfriend, she will get married.
No, not getting married.
I listen to her.
Oh, you listen?
Yeah, I say, you think you're bigger? You feel you got something you want to say. When your boys to tell you whatever you can't sleep on the radio. But people who are my age, they will remember and they will read into it. Me ain't supporting that. That is lack of disrespect for your parents and your parents' value. Okay? Franco bring his TV and say about
to say mommy and daddy have a boyfriend.
Mommy and daddy have a boyfriend.
So what about if they don't tell you but they have a boyfriend?
If they don't tell me, I don't know.
And probably you might find out some other how.
Find out to get pregnant?
Well, I don't know how you're going to find out, but you might find out some other how.
No, they don't know that. My thing, if you get pregnant, me they start the whole family, so you have to look for your whole roof. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, okay.
What I'm saying, all of that can be avoided by if you just listen to your children and probably have a conversation.
Oh, so I must listen to them and say, Kingsley, Daddy, like my daughter's coming, Kingsley. I'm going out tonight. What are you planning to do? Well, I'm going to do the follow walk. What's the follow walks? Oh, you know what it is. Hello. No, that is not in my thing. No way.
Kingsley, you have to go.
Right, Anta. Let me say good evening to Jacqueline Jordan and Mommy Valvertias. Mommy, good to know that are listening. They're going to call me after to let me know how they see me waving up. Let me say good evening to Dove Howard. Joseph Arthur, good to know that you listen, Josie. It's good to know. Rat is always listening. And Rata is a different person from Mespo, know that he listening to. And this kind of old school conversation is what he like. He and I have a particular discussion with a very close friend of his and a very good friend of mine. I didn't like the stand that he took, but he took it because that is what he believed in. But I still believe that our fabric and our values has gone through the window, and that is why we're seeing so much people. We have a caller coming through. You are our final call.
Yeah, truly. Good day to everybody. Good afternoon. Good night, right?
Good night.
Morning, Patsy. How are you doing?
I just tune in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I know how to speak about an interesting topic. I got the brief.
We're speaking about young ladies who is 16 years old and they last say they could have sex, and I say no, 21.
I say no to that. I already heard before the calling. But I will just brief up my words on them to bring across the point. In the island where I reside into, they were brought up that law that when you're 16, that what you're free to go out and you're free to have sex and so on.
You're free to spree.
And spree. When that took place, the girl them started to break out.
Wow.
Definitely. Before there was well remarkable, obedient to the parents, and so on. I have 3 girls, children. And one, I get over she head. But I mean, she's about take man car and I saying that to people because they might think it's that. I mean,
you some my language. That language is too big.
I mean, it's go out with young boys and things. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I mean, they just want to go.
At least I can't get soup for that one.
No. This is my word, but it's for me. I mean that they just want to go places without telling you, asking you, come in when they want with their friends.
Yes.
Which was a friend, my children them friend was quickly Christian, because it's a Christian home they brought up into. So the thing. So and they're looking and they came in so late.
I still funny the wall, you know. Go ahead, I listen to you.
No,
I like how you speak it in. Yeah. It ain't come rude.
And I went quickly and and so on. And we did looking and for them and so on. And cut it down where the police no want to step in. Right? They want to step in and see if I don't know the law. I said, well, I will beat them.
Yes.
But what age? The age I long to live under my roof.
Yeah.
And I have to support them, I have to mind them. I said, in Down St. Vincent, I had no picture in airport you can say I wanted. So when I know where I'm going, my country. Cut it down in the process of it. They say, well, if what will happen and so on. I said, well, if you want me to don't do nothing to them, allow them, take them out my house and mind them. Because the point is this. Whatever they do, I go scoop, I go beat them. I go do what I have to do them. So you must start me. You know what I did? I jumped on the ferry and went in the big town where the governor and everybody is. Yeah. And the superintendent for the law. Yeah. And I jack up in the office and I said, tell you. And I opened my mouth and I said to them that the reason why some of you give them that, I told the police and them so too. The reason why you are giving them the law because you want to have a part of them. True to my word. You want to have a part of them. So you are give law. And as if you are don't change the law, you go still what happen and what will take place. And to God be the glory, I open my mouth and I say I say give them and I jump back on the ferry, catch back in the island where I resign into. I want to look to change the law. Okay. And put it for 18.
Good for you.
We have to take a stand.
Yes.
Even though they have a law there, we have to take a stand. Because to the end of the whole story, when they see you have freedom, leave them, what will happen? When they get in trouble, they call it. The person come and see you coming for looking for the mother, the father, is there. So therefore, I believe correct the children then in the right way, in the right manner. You know one of the social developed individual who came in when I take a stand for that. You know what, you're going to laugh. You know what she told me? She said, hey, no, them born, hey, no, you from St. Vincent. So we could keep them out and you go. I said, try it now. Try anytime. That's how they want to control the children. Yes. And manipulate them. Yes. And bring them under their law to use them for the tools.
Yes.
God bless you.
Okay, thank you for calling. And here, let me tell you something. You might not want to be identified with. I could be associated with some of what she said because that's what it should take place. You can't have, as Ms. Kingston Park said, and this 16 years old, nicely dressed. They say to you, Daddy, Mommy, I'll be back later. Where you going? I'm going to my boyfriend. 16 years, my head hurt me. Why my head probably so big? I can't wrap my head around that one at all. And that is why I be that we see so much of an inconsistency with what taking place in the world. Yeah, but the child becoming disobedient.
Yeah, but Kingsley, not because the age of consent is 15 and you have a young lady, a young man living in your house who is 15 or 16.
Right.
Is gonna tell you that he or she is going here, going there, and come back when they feel. That's two different things you're talking, you know.
Yeah,
that's to kettle of fish.
Kettle of fish, because I agree with you. It's have 16-year-old children will behave themselves as children, and they will go out and have their clean fun and they wouldn't cross the border.
No, but you're still a child.
Yes, and that's because of the level of parenting were given to those children when they were growing up. But when you had today's parents tell you, Kingsley, where tell me when my daughter from me left, when the Marco be my daughter, you're getting old and cold. Where you leave me children alone? These are some of the things you say. You know? I can remember it of a particular driver at the airport who tried to talk to a lady about where he saw her daughter. You know what she tell him? Boy, mind your business, me not put no Marco be my daughter. Eh? You're getting old and cold. I'm gonna keep it old till right, yeah, that's what they say. So I say, me, when me see, me not have nothing to say, but me just encouraging my sister Anne-Marie to make sure instill that level of discipline in your two children. Because you know what you went through to be where you are today. Here what happened? It's 6 minutes, 30 seconds before 10 o'clock. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So me going to eat the food tomorrow. Until next week, I'm going to try and see if I could get the management and staff to give me permission to bring Frank. And next week will be our open forum. So if that permission is granted, I don't think they will deny him because like Frank knows he has to be responsible, and his responsibility on the radio is to continue to say what he always wants to say. But don't forget, sometimes when we sit behind the mic, we have to be very mindful. All enjoy all evening. Are you gone? I get all the papa before I go though. Yeah, let's go.
Whatever you are celebrating, birthdays, anniversaries, engagements, retirement, or just celebrating life, the place to be is at Basil's Bar Kingstown. Established for over 38 years, we are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with an exquisite ambiance. We have a set menu and 3 a la carte menus to choose from, and we are flexible to all requests. We go above and beyond to serve you. Basil's Bar Kingstown, where it's more than just a meal, it's an adventure. Call for reservations at 457-2713.
It's Feedback with host Kingsley De Freitas. This and every Tuesday night from 8 p.m. for 2 full hours, right here on WeFM 99.9. Join him as he brings different guests